Hey there, I'm Ken. This is Canadian Retro Things, and today I'm taking a little road trip. I'm taking a little road trip down to Bellingham, Washington, and I figured while I'm there, I may as well look around and see if I can't treat myself a little bit, get myself something nice. So I've decided that I'm taking the day to have a little break from all the soldering and desoldering and chip testing and everything else I've been doing over the last few days. Yes, that is a hint on some upcoming videos. And I'm going to go down there, I'm going to do a little bit of shopping and see if I can't pamper myself a little bit. All right, well, I have a timetable to keep, so I've got to get going. And yeah, let's see what I can find. Once done everything I needed to do, I made my way over to Reset Games. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit like a meth-addicted squirrel when I see shiny things. As soon as I entered the store, I completely forgot about filming anything. But I did pick up some stuff. And this was not my only stop. I decided I would go somewhere that I've heard mentioned many, many times. While I'm in Bellingham, I have to try out that Trader Joe's that everyone keeps talking about. Inside, I didn't find anything interesting enough to film. After going through Trader Joe's, it was time to head home. And what did I get from Reset Games? Well, because I recently picked myself up an Atari 2600 Plus, I decided I'd get myself a couple of little Atari treats. So I got myself Phoenix because I just love the Silver Label games. I don't know, I like the look of the cartridges, so they're the ones that I like to physically collect right now. And it's a really good game. We'll take a look at it when I plug my Atari 2600 Plus in and try this out. I also got Venture. Now, I absolutely love this game on the ColecoVision. And I actually think it's quite funny how Coleco released these games for the Atari 2600, but purposely made them look a lot worse than the ColecoVision because, honestly, think of Donkey Kong. The Atari 2600 is actually capable of so much more than what ColecoVision made their games look like, so I'm interested to see what Venture looks like. Plus, the white cartridges are also another thing that I like to collect. And the last thing that I picked up for my Atari 2600 is the video touchpad. Now, I have one of these, but I have absolutely no idea where it is. I have looked and I've looked. It's gone. I don't know. So I finally got myself one so that I could play Star Raiders. Now, Star Raiders is supposed to work with the Atari 2600 Plus, so I'm going to try it out with the video touchpad. I did it. I finally bowed to the pressure, that online pressure of so many people telling me, well, not just telling me, but just saying out to the world that Trader Joe's is the place you have to go. Trader Joe's is awesome. Trader Joe's is... Well, Trader Joe's is a supermarket. That's it. Sure, they've got a few unique items, and I guess what makes them really unique is that they're all their own brand, but yeah, they're a supermarket with a few unique items, and I can honestly go to any supermarket around me and find a few unique items to that supermarket itself. Yeah, so what did I pick up? I finally settled on a couple of things, one of which was peanut butter filled pretzels, because I like peanut butter, I like pretzels, so let's give it a try. Is this worth all of the hype? It's definitely good. I think it could stand to have a bit more peanut butter in it, although the peanut butter is not very creamy. It's a kind of a crunchy peanut butter like you'd get in a Wonder Bar. So, yeah, it's decent. I'm definitely going to eat them. I think I would have liked it better if the peanut butter were like a smooth, creamy peanut butter inside of it rather than a kind of a dry, crunchy peanut butter. But yeah, they're not bad. And the first game we're going to look at is Venture here. Now, I do have one little complaint, and it's something that I really hate when I go into retro stores and I find they had a price tag on there, which was good because it was an easy one to take off that didn't leave any residue. And I did only pay a couple of bucks for this cartridge, so I didn't expect it to be in great shape. But when I took the price tag off, it was covering up a big crack in the back of the cartridge. Like, why not have put the price tag down further? Let me know that crack was there. It wouldn't have changed my mind about buying this. It's just that it looks like they were intentionally trying to hide that. It's a pet peeve of mine on anything retro. Because retro things are old, there's gonna be flaws. Just embrace them, let people know. And there we go. There is Venture. Now, this is a game that I played a ton on my ColecoVision. It was one of my favorite games growing up. Now, differences between this and the ColecoVision is obviously at the beginning, you don't get a treasure screen to show which treasures you've collected already. And as you can see, when you complete a room, it doesn't fill in. There's also none of the background music that you get with the ColecoVision. The sprites are definitely a lot chunkier here. But, yeah, it's actually not a bad version. The hall creatures look like Pac-Man ghosts. But hey, I can definitely live with that. Well, at least there's a little bit of sound for when the bad guy comes to kill you, the indestructible guy. And level 2 looks just like on the ColecoVision, although I did see a little glitch there. One of the hall creatures came through the other side of the screen. Also, there's no second set of monsters in this room. So definitely they changed it a bit from the ColecoVision version. Now, if I remember correctly, this one should have had some disappearing walls. It definitely, and also the indestructible guy kind of looks like a Halloween clown mask. Anyway, yeah, you're missing some of the traps and stuff that are on the arcade game and on the Coleco version, but... And I think it just appears to me that things are running a little bit slower. Yeah, he's definitely half coming through the other side of the screen there. Will there be a level 3? Nope, wraps around to level 1 again. So it's also missing the 3rd level. Alright, well, Venture on the Atari 2600, definitely Coleco dumbed it down a bit. You don't have nearly as much stuff, but it's a very playable game. I like it. Of course, I like just about everything that's Venture. The next game to try is Phoenix. Now, Phoenix has an interesting history. Apparently, at one point, Atari tried to sue iMagic for releasing Demon Attack because they said it was too much like Phoenix. I don't personally think that they're all that much alike, but From what I've read, most people actually like Demon Attack better, but I am definitely in the camp of Phoenix being a better game. Both of them are amazing Atari games, but Phoenix is definitely one of those games that you have to try before, if you're ever going to try an Atari, try Phoenix. Okay. I haven't played this game in a long time. Or at least on the Atari 2600. Now this is the only screen that's anything like Demon Attack, but I mean, it's not really that close. Not so close that I think a court case should have happened. Killed it, but it killed me. Okay. Now I have to see if I can play and get to the most important thing in Phoenix. Of course, the cat has to be very, very helpful and join in with playing the game. This cat never sits on anybody's lap unless you're doing something. That's this cat right here. Yes! Alright, this is the reason that this game is so much better than Demon Attack, because of the big boss, which Demon Attack does not have. There are versions of Demon Attack that do have the big boss, but the Atari 2600 is not one of them. And now for the piece de resistance. That is the video touchpad that I bought to go with my Star Raiders game. Now, I had a video touchpad a long time ago, and I don't know where it went, but I never had Star Raiders. I finally got Star Raiders a while back, and as I said, I have no idea where the video touchpad went. So I've never gotten to play this on the Atari 2600. I've played it on the Atari 8-bit. Love this game. So it is time to finally get to play it on the Atari 2600. And here we go. Excellent, excellent. And come on. And the touchpad doesn't look like it's working. The touchpad is not working. I am very cursed when it comes to Star Raiders. I'll be right back. My Atari 2600 Plus is broken. As you can see on the right controller port here, top corner pin is broken off. It wasn't broken off when I originally got the thing. I checked back in the footage. However, I have never tried that port out. This was the first time I plugged something into it. And the first time I plugged something into it, the pin gets lodged up inside of the controller here. And I tried to dig it out, which I don't think I did it very successfully. It looks like it's still down in there. And I mangled this up a little bit. So I am going to have to put a new end on this controller. And I'm going to have to open up the Atari 2600 Plus and put a new port in there. Whether I can find one that'll match and fit in there, I don't know. But yeah, so that looks like it's going to be a new video opening up my Atari 2600 Plus and fixing it only a couple of weeks after I got it. Unfortunately, it was purchased a while before Christmas, so I'm a little beyond the return date on it. So I find it a little bit funny that I have how many Atari 2600s that all have perfectly working ports, and this one breaks off the first time you use it. I decided before I get ahead of myself on having to take things apart and order parts and everything else, I would try hooking the video touchpad up to one of my old original Ataris. This is a 4-switcher. So, let's see what happens. Okay. Working? Aha! Working! Yeah, it killed me. Anyway. The video touchpad is working, so I don't need to replace the end on that. I must have gotten that piece out of there. So, hey, at least I can now play Star Raiders on one of my original consoles. Well, that didn't go as planned. But hey, at least I got out of the house for a day. I got myself a few new toys. I did break one of the new toys that I got recently, but yeah, that was completely unexpected. I mean, being a retro collector, I expect that when I take out these old systems here, that I'm running the risk of when I turn it on, something may go wrong with it, and then I'm going to have to fix it. That's par for the course for 40-year-old electronics. But 1-month-old electronics, well, you're not expecting them to break quite that easily. Oh well, I think it should actually be a fairly simple fix. I just have to desolder however that port is connected to the board and solder a new one in. All right, well, yeah, that was my video for today. It kind of went ziggy-zaggy all over the place, but hey, I hope you enjoyed it anyways. If you did, don't forget that a like, a subscribe, and a comment below are all things that help the channel out a lot and are greatly appreciated. But until next time, I guess I gotta go order a part to fix that Atari, and I will see you then.